Welcome back to Hidden Equity, the podcast that uncovers strengths and values because we are always digging just a little bit more. And when I moved to a new city at 37 years old, I thought that I had life figured out. And let me tell you, I did not. And today I just want to talk about what it is when we move to a new city, because I think when you move for work, you kind of have that excuse and that crutch, and it's exciting and it's a giant life change regardless of the reason that you move. But in hindsight, now that I've been in Miami for 3 years after moving from Scottsdale, Arizona, I'm starting to have a whole lot of reflection about where I'm at today, the friends I have, I'm happier, my business is better. And how on earth did it take 3 years to get to this point? And I just want to share it with you and hope that it helps you, because I know that making a move is something that everybody thinks about. It's maybe even something that you dream about, but you don't do it because there's so much involved. And I will say, before I moved, there was a lot of hesitation because I sell real estate. Like, it's not an easy business to start over. And this is my fourth time starting a business over. But this time I had more money, I had more experience, and was a big fish in a small pond in Scottsdale where I had a great reputation. I'm from Scottsdale. It was very easy for me to lead generate, to put houses under contract, to close them. There's always business coming in. It was like I could go to a restaurant or an event, see somebody, and they're like, "Hey, I've been meaning to talk to you." And that turns into a deal. I did not realize how much I take that for granted. So transplanting to a new city across the country where I knew one person, I'm a Sagittarius. I wanted this to be a super fun adventure. I was excited for all of the opportunities. And in the beginning of this, on the rise, you are very excited. Everything is sparkly, everything glistens. You are super open. Yes, yes, yes. I will attend anything and everything because you need to make a life here. And then at some point, you are climbing and it just kind of plateaus because it's not really going how you happened, or excuse me, it's not going how you hoped and had planned in hindsight. Like, I don't think that we go in to any situation understanding our expectations. I think it's a very subconscious thought. And so as it's unfolding and meltdowns start happening and you're sad and you're kind of like wanting to run home a lot, those are the things that are making you grow, but they don't feel like it. It feels like, okay, I made this giant move and now what? Now what? So here are some things that I wish I did sooner. I moved from Scottsdale to Miami exercising at F45. F45 is a HIIT type gym. It is around the entire world. So I chose where I lived my first year based on an F45 gym because that was what I knew. Totally fine. I'm glad I did it. It kept my routine going. And I don't know. I went to morning classes. Miami's not quite a morning city. So I don't know if because it was the morning, people were just not that friendly. I didn't make any friends there. Whereas now I go to nighttime classes and everybody's friendly, or even the noon classes. And I've like gotten some phone numbers, gone on some friend dates, and it's much more lively. So I wish I joined ClassPass. That's my number one. I have found in the last like 6 weeks, two amazing, great studios that one of the studios wasn't even around when I moved here. So I wouldn't have found it had I been on ClassPass a few years ago. But the other one, it would have kept some normalcy, which just kind of translates into another thing is like, I brought my car here and my entire life in Scottsdale, we drive everywhere. And in Miami, it's very walkable. So not using my car every day was a hard change because I have a car payment, I'm paying for insurance, I'm paying for parking, but I'm not using my car. And so going to the gym and getting in my car and needing to drive there would have kept some normalcy. Instead, I wanted to walk to experience Brickell and have the full like downtown city life. which I loved, but I used my car once every 2 weeks. And so that was a culture shock, was being here and not driving everywhere because I didn't need to. I only did if I needed to go to Costco, which even that, oh my gosh, this is like another tangent to go on. There isn't a Costco or a Walmart or like anything that there's nothing in the major, I call it Miami proper, Edgewater, downtown, Brickell, South Beach, anywhere on the beach. Like there's none of those big box chains, which is actually kind of nice. But with the traffic and the amount of people that live in Miami, if I don't get up and go to get gas at Costco, to go to Costco at like butt crack of dawn, I'm sitting in traffic. So now what should take me 20 minutes at tops to get there has turned into a solid 40 to 60-minute drive each way. And so that's a culture shock, right? Like every little thing was hard for me in the beginning. And this kind of leads me to my next point is like, we think we're so open-minded. We're going to a new city. We're saying yes to every invitation we get. We're trying on this new pace of life, this new style of life. We get to go to all these experiences and restaurants and meet new people, and opportunities are everywhere. But at 37 years old, you're very set in your ways. And that leads to rigidity. That leads to, at least for me, feeling very out of control if I stayed up late and slept in a little bit, because that's not my normal routine. I didn't know where the hot spots were. I didn't run here at 37 and want to like go be a party person. I wanted to fit in with the healthy people in Miami, which there's quite a lot of them, by the way, and have that healthy lifestyle, but it also wasn't on my time frame. So I've spoken to quite a few people who've moved here over the years, and they have said the same thing. They're like, I thought I came here with this open mind, and I realized how structured I am and how I need my routine and how rigid I am and how I think I'm being open-minded, but I'm actually not being open-minded. So it's actually been a very fun conversation to chat with others and understand that they are having the same exact experience. And if you have ever moved to a new city at a younger age than 37, I would love to hear what your experience was. Because when I was 26, I moved to LA, and those were just hardships that bothered me. The traffic, the parking, there's no food on the shelves on Sundays at Trader Joe's because there's so many people there. Those are the things that bothered me on top of how expensive it is. So I had already experienced that. I experienced all of those things also in Miami when I moved here. But now we have, moving into the next piece, like the friends. Because I am not married and don't have children, the type of girl that I end up being friends with is younger and younger and younger. Even though I'm 37 and now 40, my friends are still mid 30s. I've tried being friends with early 30s, and there's nothing wrong with them. But going back to your rigidity, you are who you are. You tolerate and don't tolerate. You like and you don't like certain things, people, situations. We have those boundaries that are stepping in as we get older. And whether you realize that you set them or not, whether you realize that you like this type of person or not, when you move to a new city and have no friends, you're like, okay, I don't really like them, but I guess I'll go. Like I can tolerate them for 2 hours. It's fine. And that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for friends who I want to call you when I'm sober and not just go out and party. I want to call you if I have an event to go to or a bad day. And because there's so many transplants here, the people who've been here the longest obviously have a lot of friends, but their groups are very tight. And people are open. I don't want to say they're not, but it's also a very social city. So once you have alcohol involved and you're on a boat day, that's kind of when everybody becomes friends, but it's truly just friends for the day. And so finally, after 3 years, I have some friends here who I can talk to, do girls' dinners with. I don't know if they're going to last forever. I really like them. And I'm so glad that I found such quality people in Miami, because people are so transient, both visiting all the time, moving in and out, that I was getting a little hopeless, not sure if I could. And I went to so many different networking groups, meeting anybody I could, exercising, just anything I could think of, going, sitting at a bar alone. But of course, that turns into just getting hit on. So I think our expectation of what we have in mind for moving to a new city is completely different in truly every department of what is going to unfold in that new city. And I know this might sound silly, but it takes a really, really big effort to be social. And I say that because there's always something going on in a city like Miami. And as much as you always want to say yes, you have to ask yourself, like, can I afford it? Is this going to interrupt my work? What are the benefits of going? What are the benefits if I don't go? Because you can always say yes to everything. And Miami is a very expensive city. And if you're moving to a new city that isn't Miami or isn't a big city, you might have a different experience. But those are like those are the things that you have to really be careful about. Like, it is very easy to spend your money here. Like, you don't feel like doing dishes, you go to dinner, it's $250 to $400 just to go to dinner because Miami doesn't have a lot of casual restaurants. So those are things that I didn't really think about when I got here. I've had a lot of meltdowns. I have had like physical falls where my whole body just gives out. And on top of it, I stayed comfortable by only working in my Arizona business. So I also made my life very difficult because I was working on my Arizona real estate business while living in Miami, which meant I had to go back all the time. And while I was trying to get my Miami business off the ground, it was easy and comfortable. The paychecks are there with the business that I already know. And I was scared that I would lose my clients. I was scared that that Arizona business would dry up because how do you do both? You have to have a business partner in both cities. And it takes doubling down the follow up, the calls, being in touch, being available. And you also have a time change, right? So now we have a 3-hour time change half the year. And that's a lot. So if I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, it's only 6 o'clock in Arizona. Like, how do I get business done? So there's been a lot of adjustments. And I really thought that coming and going into a new city, like, I was set. I really, really did. I was so excited. So once I got up to that plateau of like, this is not as fun as I thought it was going to be. I don't really know what I'm doing. Why am I here in 2025 with the year of equaling number 9, which is deconstruction? Has been a very trying year. And it's those thoughts that I just told you of like, what am I doing? Who the F do I think I am? Why am I doing this? Do I have something to prove to myself or to other people? It's just who I am. Like, it's just, I want to just keep growing as a person. And this is a giant challenge. Moving to a new city, even if you have a regular job that pays you and you don't have to go look for a job every day like you do in real estate, you still have a lot of hurdles to overcome. And I don't say it in a negative way. And I'm putting this video out there in hopes that it can help even one person to understand that there is so much that goes into moving. And we only see the fun, the easy, the shiny, the new when we move. And it isn't until a few months in where you start having the breakdowns and you're like, okay, maybe this wasn't the best idea. But I think that's totally normal to go from your high to your low. And then you bounce back because eventually what comes down must go back up and you just keep trying. It's like, okay, well, if I'm going to be here, I want to make friends. I want to enjoy my life here. I don't want to feel like I have to keep running out. So I'm finally at a place where I'm very happy with my life. I finally feel settled. It took 3.5 years, which again, give yourself some grace. I was not expecting it to take this long at all. I don't know if it's my age. I don't know if it's the city. I don't really know what it is. But if any of this is like a little bit of a jump start for you because you're thinking about moving to a new city, I really hope that this is encouraging and it's not telling you not to. Because if you have that in you, go do it. Go do it. You want that experience, move. You never know where life can take you. I met my person, here. He's part of the reason why I moved to Miami. And it's so special. And I know that Miami's not forever. And it doesn't have to be forever. If I stay another 2 to 3 years, I'm good. I did Miami. I can say I've lived in Miami. Like, how cool is that? And now I'm not experiencing Miami to the fullest on the social side because I'm not out on boats every weekend. I'm not out partying. I'm just a workaholic. I love to work. That's where I am fulfilled. That's how I help people. That's what I love to do. So it's also like getting to Miami a little late in life. Honestly, I would probably be dead if I came here in my 20s. So I think it's a total blessing that I got here at 37 years old when the partying was out of my system. But wherever it is that you want to go, please go. I want you to go experience it, because what is 1 year? And yes, everybody's going to give you all the reasons why you shouldn't move, that it's expensive, that it's hard, you don't know anybody, maybe you're moving without a job. It doesn't matter. Go do it. Go experience life, because in the long run, what is a year? What is 2 years? What is 5 years in the long run? Assuming that we all live till we're at least 75, 85, 95. And you're going to look back and just like, I wish I did that. I wish I had that under my belt. And I'm speaking to a very specific person here, because not everybody has this inkling. Like, I know people who have grown up in Scottsdale, never left, never want to leave. You know, they've had 1 or 2 jobs their whole life. They've got their social sphere, their family, they're good. That is just not who I am. And I am talking to you. So get your little fire spirit, go travel the world, go try something new. A new city is like so telling of who you are and how you handle hardship, and it allows you to grow and it changes you. And that is what this Hidden Equity podcast is all about, is taking those risks, understanding what else is out there for you, what else you have to discover about yourself, and not being afraid, even though that you are doing it anyway. So I hope that this is somewhat helpful, because that's all I intend it to be. If you need help in actually moving to any sort of city, let me know. I would love to just have a chat with you so that you can understand what you're getting into, because it's scary. So cheers. If I had a wine glass, cheers. And I'll see you on the next one.